trying to be heartless.
Hey, yo, I did some things, but that's the old me.
I'm not trying to be heartless. Was not looking for no love affair, but where would I have found you? You know my life ain't been no crystal
Okay, well, I
stair.
will. Okay, well, we can go ahead and get started then. I definitely know
Yeah.
your time is precious. One thing that I saw or noticed is that you have your own label, Candy Girl Music, and
I do.
how was that experience? How has it afforded you the ability to have creative control over your own music? And just want to say congratulations on that. I think that's awesome when artists have their own label. You don't really see that too much.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Really, it's just giving me the opportunity to make the music that I want to, that I care about, and um, I would say without restrictions or without an agenda, but really just making music that feels good, trying to be as honest as possible in my music, versus trying to stick with the formula or what others think I should sound like, or what others think I should present, or what others think is going to sell. Um, just trying to stay, true to the music and true to why I do this. So having my own label allows me that creative freedom, as well as just the freedom um, to release what I feel is the most honest music that comes from me.
Ah, great. Wow, that's awesome. Okay. All right. I do want to mention this one thing too. I saw this on your Instagram account and I thought it was so
Yeah.
interesting and I just wanted to share this with everyone and kind of get your perspective on it. I noticed it was a post from today.com and it basically stated that 66% of music listeners wouldn't pay anything for listening to their favorite artist and only 1% of those listeners would spend over $20 a month supporting their favorite artist. And I, first of all, I do have to say that I love buying music, supporting the artists. I'm all about that, and I think there's not a lot of that, and even digital. I know everything is going digital, but I
Yeah.
really love even having the physical CD in my hand, which I've talked to a lot of my
Absolutely.
friends about that, and it's unfortunately the majority is everything is so digital. But as an artist, how does that current digital wave of music make you feel, and how it's just so accessible out there to everyone?
You know what? I think it's a blessing and a curse. I think the blessing is that it's instant. If you hear an artist or you get hip to an artist, you can have the music just by pressing a couple of buttons on your phone. Your touch screen. It's downloaded. So it's a blessing to have it be so accessible, so quickly, so easily. I've there's been so many times I've been in the store or been in the car and a song comes on that I don't recognize, and I, use one of the apps to see who that artist is, and then I get hip to them and I buy their music, and I
Right.
can buy it immediately. So it really is. I think that's where the blessing is. But I think sometimes when everything is instant, there is some of the some things are lost. Some of the feel is lost. There was something about growing up reading credits, and whether it
Right.
was on
Exactly.
vinyl or inside of a CD cover, it was just something about knowing what the process was like and who was involved, and reading the thank yous and looking at the pictures and just the feel of it. It was something special about that. And I think that in a world where everything is just moving so much faster, and instant gratification is just on overload. I think that that's the curse of it, is people. It's no longer taking the time to really delve into something and really enjoy it and really get to um, uh, truly, I think, make it part of your life. And what's great though is with that survey, a friend of mine, George Littlejohn, who's also the distributor for my album. Shouts out to George in NY in Brooklyn. But he actually posed a question asking, I wonder what that age demographic was, because we know that a lot of times it's our youth, it's the younger people that are definitely part of this brave new digital world, and that there's a lot of the more seasoned people who are still buying CDs, who are still buying music. And so it's just important for me as an artist, a touring artist, an artist who loves bringing music to you front and center live, that to give you the experience so that you want to take the music home. So that, yeah, sure, you may have downloaded one or two songs, or you may have been listening to it on Spotify or whatever, but after you have an experience with the music, you're like, I want to live with this music now, and you actually physically want to take it home. So, that I think that audience is still there. I think they're underserved, and I think it's just a matter of continuing to try to get to them.
Right. And I must say, your new album, of course, I have it, and just off the strength of your previous work, I bought it. And it's something that I think that is so rare because, I have certain artists, yourself included, that I really like. And, if I find out they have something new, it's like, okay, how can I go buy this? How can I go purchase it? But it's crazy that now things have moved so digitally driven,
Yeah.
like you said, and people are just, with a touch of a button on their phone, they're able to either purchase it or, try to rip it or download it and get it for free. But, definitely believe in supporting the artists. And I thought that was just really cool that you put that out there and shared that with your fans too.
Absolutely. Thank you. My new album, Stargazer, I've had a lot of my previous fans that were just like, I'm there as soon as I can get it, off of the, like you said, the strength of the previous projects. And so it's been beautiful so far, just seeing people get behind the project and really, consider themselves, quote unquote stargazers, and trying to help spread the word. And yeah, it's been a good ride so far.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, and with that a little bit, with giving back to your fans and just appreciating your fans, I've noticed that several artists, including yourself, through Pledge Music, have turned to very successful crowdsourced campaigns for their albums. So what are your thoughts on that, involving fans in avenues like this, and do you see it as possibly a wave of the future for music and for artists?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a fantastic platform, honestly. I know that there's kind of some mixed feelings and mixed reviews about crowdfunding, but I think it's because of, unfortunately, some previous carelessness with the process. People are feeling like they didn't get what they asked for, because in some cases they didn't, and those names were big enough, or those particular campaigns were big enough, where people were just like, I made an investment in you based upon you promising X, Y, and Z, and you didn't deliver. So now they're gun shy. And then I believe that that adds to somewhat of a fatigue of, should I do this? And who's to say they're going to fulfill on their commitment? So that's unfortunate when the majority of these crowdsourcing campaigns, people are getting what they were promised. And I think that it's a wonderful new platform for fans to get involved in the process, really become part of the process. And ultimately, all they're doing, they're not donating. And I actually was having a conversation with Nicolay yesterday on Facebook, and everybody chimed in, and I could see the mixed reviews. But my stance is that, this isn't a donation.
Right.
This isn't charity. People are actually buying into a project just earlier. It's really more of an investment, because you're going to at least get the music.
Right, exactly.
So, and most likely you're going to get it before anyone else. So it's an opportunity for you to really make an early investment in the music, help that artist actually create the music, produce the music, get the word out so that they can continue making music for you. Crowdfunding is really fan funding, because most likely people who are pledging aren't people that don't know you. They're people that know you. They're people that believe in your work. They believe in your previous work, and they want to see more of it. So they're willing to spend a couple of days of their coffee budget to
Right.
help you create music that could impact their lives forever. And if you look at it that way, it should be a no-brainer that if some of my biggest if I'm a fan and some of my favorite artists are doing crowdfunding, why not get involved? Why not get involved? And you get to see the perks, and you get to be more involved, and you get to choose what levels of that you want to be involved. And so I think that it's a great platform with the label shrinking and with people purchasing music less. And unfortunately, we're having to find ways to finance the creation of this music, and I think that's kind of part to tie into what you asked about before with, the survey that was done on today.com of would you, what would you support or pay for music from your favorite artist? I think that really, in essence, it's getting to those people that are still wanting to get the music, that still want to be involved in helping this music stay alive. Because unfortunately, I think our music has been pimped. Music in general just has been pimped. And you look at, now you will look at singers and look at what they do as a hobby. No, this is what they do for a living.
Right.
So you'll No, it's sure. They feel like, oh, you're just talented, and that's what you do. No, I actually put some work into this and some sweat and some tears and continuously pour my own personal money into my business and, work side jobs so that I can make music so that could really impact you for the rest of your life. That's the one thing. This music, it transcends. And it lasts, and it's there for posterity. So once we make the music, it's always there for you forever. So $10, $15, $25 for that CD or for that album, and it's forever. It's just something that's really amazing to me, and it saddens me that people look at music as something that's not valuable. They minimize it and just say, although it might be, as I said, the soundtrack to your life, you don't even realize how many of those events in your life you can name a song that you can attach to some of the major events in your life, or an album, or like today being the anniversary of the death of Marvin Gaye. I can tell you everything that happened that day. And I was a little girl.
Wow.
I remember where I was when when it showed on the news that he had been murdered by his father. I remember that day like it was yesterday, and it was 31 years ago. And so when you think about the impact that music, even sometimes more likely more than movies, but you'll pay for that Netflix account. And you'll and you will spend the ever increasing prices to go to the movie theater and pay $8 for a small cup of popcorn and a soda. But you're continuously looking for new ways to get music for free. It saddens me, but that's why I want bringing that music to life, bringing it to people, hoping, trying to get the word out so people can have an experience with the music. That can change things. And so I think that's what we're all continuing to do. We're trying to be soldiers for this.
Wow, that is awesome. And I think, too, just one other quick thing I just wanted to mention to everyone that may not know about the Kickstarters and Pledge Music and everything like that. You offer some really great rewards, too, for certain levels of people donating, or not donating, but giving their money, investing, as you said.
Yeah.
I noticed that I think the highest level that person was able to get a concert at their house, and I was like, dang, if I had the money, I would have done that.
Right,
So it's
right,
some
right.
really big rewards, plus the CD and plus whatever else is under that tier. So I thought that was
Absolutely.
just really, really great, and I just wanted to talk with you about that a little bit, just to educate people out there who may not know what some of these campaigns are really about and what they're really doing
Yeah.
in support of the
They're
arts.
really about just giving you an experience. It's like not only do you get the music, but there's potential experiences we get to share together that are lifelong memories through the music. And so, that's why I think, and I was skeptical as well, and even a little bit prideful, just like I'm not asking my fans for money to do. But then when I looked at it, I said, I'm not asking my fans for money. I'm actually asking them, do they want to get in on it early? That's
Right,
really what
exactly.
you're asking. Do you want to get in on this early? And so, after that, after I got that chip off of my shoulder, and I ran a very short campaign, honestly. It was a 30-day campaign in comparison to most of the campaigns I see are 90 to 180 days. But I
Right.
made the decision so late in the process to actually do it. But it was still successful, and people still got involved. And I love all my fans that contributed to the level of being able to participate in the meet and greet and my release parties, and I catered the release parties, and open bar and all. And so being able to like shake hands and hug and do pictures and have them really be part of the process, it was really great.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, I do want to talk about your album as well, of course, Stargazer. If you all don't have that,
Yeah.
make sure you go and pick that up. And what would you say was the meaning behind the album's title? I'm always really interested to hear why artists title their albums what they do, and what was the concept behind that. So, what would you say was the concept behind the name Stargazer? And then also, how would you say this album is different from your previous work?
Well, two-prong answer with the title. Actually, it's kind of a double meaning. It's a dual meaning. With my favorite flower is actually the Stargazer lily. It's been my favorite flower for years and years and years, and so it's just a beautiful flower. And when it blooms, a lot of times when you purchase the flower, you actually buy it before it blooms, because watching it bloom is so amazing. It's so amazing to watch it bloom, and the colors and how vibrant it is once it opens up, and the scents that come from it. It's just such a beautiful, and it's a pretty flower, kind of similar to a caterpillar to a butterfly. And so it's pretty when you purchase it prior to it blooming, but once it opens up, it's just amazing. It's amazing. So that, and I think I feel like that's describing kind of my journey so far, is I've been able to watch myself bloom, and I like what's happening there. And as well as Stargazer is another term for a daydreamer or a dreamer. And so I've always been a big dreamer, and I believe that dreams come true with work and just in time and and community, and so I just said it just made sense that at this point in my life, in my career, I want to see these dreams start to bloom and manifest, and so that's kind of where Stargazer came from.
Wow. I love that. Wow. That is really cool. Okay. And what would you say, as far as your music and songwriting goes, what would you say is a really big inspiring factor, or inspiring factors that you have that just really help you create a song?
Well, and I didn't finish answering your last question. It ties into this question too. First, where Stargazer is different, and L. Michael Gibson, who writes for Centric and Soul Tracks and some other sites, he said, Carmen, I love this album because it's the most complete album we've done. And that's what I feel that Stargazer is, especially in comparison to the Bittersweet. Bittersweet was really kind of it was a moody, melancholy concept album. And so moving into Stargazer, I really wanted to try to show a little bit of every part of me. And so you have some stuff that's more hip hop driven, some things that are sensual, some things that are pretty, some things that are like fairy tale, and fun and sad. And I wanted to show as much of me as I could. And so I would say that's what makes this album, Stargazer, different from my first two works. And I love Free, but that was my debut album, and I love it. But I'm hoping that people can hear the growth between Free and Stargazer. And so I would say, as far as how being inspired, I'm just inspired by being moved. I'm moved by good art. I'm moved by good conversation. I'm moved by good loving. But I'm also moved by, tragedy and trauma and people hurting and people suffering and good decisions and bad decisions. And I think just life in general. And so I try to pull from that when I write. It's not always about my experiences. It's just about what's going on in the world around me. And that could be in my house, or that can be in my city. It can be in my country. It can be, on this planet. So I just try to pull from wherever I can to get inspiration.
Wow. That's amazing. And yes, I can definitely hear the growth between each of your albums, and just really love this one. It's been constant rotation. I'm listening to it at work and listening to it in my car.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
welcome.
you.
It is definitely jamming. And as far as touring goes, I know that you just recently got back from performing in London, which is amazing.
Yes.
And
it
how was
so
that
great.
experience? Yeah, and especially compared to performing in the States. Would you say there was a big difference, or was it kind of the same? How was that for you?
You know what? I think that sometimes you do have those experiences abroad where they just seem hungrier and more excited about your music. But, to be honest, my Atlanta release party or release concert, they were just as excited as being in Birmingham in the UK. And so I think it's really sometimes about the music and people who connect to our music, this brand of music. They tend to kind of invest in it and get into it. It's not something because they feel connected to it and because they know it's the secret that they wish everybody was in on. But while they're there, they're enjoying it. So I would say the really cool experience is just culturally. You get to see some of the responses and the languages and seeing how the music moves them based upon their experiences and what songs are more popular for them than the ones that may be more popular here in the States. So I think that, I think it's all relative, but London was amazing, especially playing at the legendary Jazz Cafe, to a room of 300 people who were just a captive audience, enjoying every moment of it, and then being rushed after the show to take a million pictures and sign CDs. It's just a great experience knowing that not just that you are appreciated, but really that they're feeling the music. And because, that's what I'm doing this for. This isn't really about me being liked and being popular and me being a star. I really I love music and I want to share it. And I'm hoping that, people get as close to how I feel about that music as they get as close to it as I do.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, and speaking of touring and performing, what would you say are three things that you just have to have with you when you go on tour?
Okay, well, there's a couple of things. Yes, there's three things. Okay, one, and I put this in a group, I have to have my tea and honey. Like, I have to. Mm-hmm. And my favorite tea is lemon ginger.
Oh, okay.
And it's such a wonderful combination. And my honey. So I will carry bottles of honey with me.
Just to have it to go with your tea.
Just because I need to make sure that it's there. Because sometimes, because tea is wonderful, but honey is so soothing to the throat. So sometimes people will have tea on at the venues, but they have tea and sugar. And it's just a sweetener. I'm not looking for honey. I'm not looking for a sweetener. I'm looking for something for soothing my throat. So my tea and my honey. Also, I love having some sort of shawl to cover my head and my neck.
Huh.
To protect my head, especially this winter was brutal. And I toured this year, and I usually say I stay out of certain cities during the winter, but it was unavoidable this time because I was preparing to release an album in February. So I had to hit some really, really cold cities, and it was it was traumatic. I didn't understand. I had a show. It was me with the Foreign Exchange, Layla Hathaway, Rasan Patterson, Algebra, Anthony David. And the wind chill was 27 below in Detroit.
Ooh, wow.
That's not nice. That's vulgar. That is vulgar.
It is.
So just so even when I'm inside, I love covering my head and my neck. So I usually have a shawl with me, and I always have a hat. I'm a hat girl.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I noticed in a lot of your pictures that you have some really nice hats too.
Thank you. I love hats. I think they can be cool. I think they can be charming. I'm such a tomboy, so I think it can still give even when, like even today, I'm in a skirt and a blazer, but I threw on some sneakers and my hat. So,
right.
So it's a comfort thing. I like my hat, and so I would say those are three things. When I'm on tour, you're going to see one of those, if not all three show up.
Okay. Wow. And I will say this just really quickly. I know our time here is probably winding down, but I remember when you came to Dallas here recently, and I was so mad that I didn't get a chance to go because I had class that night because I'm in grad school. And I was like, dang, I wish I could skip this class so I could go to see you perform.
No, grades.
I hate I missed it, but next time you come back, no excuses. I will be there for sure. And you mentioned
we're working on a date right now too, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll be on the lookout for that.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Oh, you're welcome. And I know you mentioned foreign exchange, and we talked about them a little bit at the beginning of our conversation. But so you're currently I don't know how much you can say, but I can edit that part out if need be.
Right.
But
I know. I can share a little bit. Yeah, we're cooking up some stuff. We're Nicolay is hopefully putting out an album soon, and then the Foreign Exchange. And so I actually am working on both those albums. Currently recording in North Carolina, and it's really, really fun because Zoe and Nicolay are in Wilmington, and I'm here in Raleigh, Durham area with Peauxetic. So they're cooking up music, and then they just send it, and then we work on the writing and melodies and singing. So it's going to be an assembly line to get some work done. But it's really exciting. This is just going to be a good year for us all. Between Stargazer coming out just in February, and then you should be seeing the Nicolay record and the Foreign Exchange, and possibly even another album that I can't say, but just be excited.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You are definitely busy then.
Yeah.
No breaks. Wow. Okay. And I know that you just celebrated a birthday as well, so happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I'm still celebrating.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's right. Keep it going.
Yeah.
What would you say, if you can say, what's the best birthday gift that you've ever received?
Oh, wow. That's so tough. There's so many good ones, because between the dinners and just flowers and friends and, I think just knowing every year, being reminded that I'm loved. So I can't pit one against the other. I've gotten to celebrate some birthdays traveling, and I've gotten to celebrate some at home. And so it's really, every year brings like some new, fresh love my way, and it could be new love or, from current people reminding me that they love me and that they're happy to celebrate another year of life. So it's hard to, I really can't pick, I can't pick one. I really can't pick one.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. Just a couple more questions before we wrap up.
Yeah.
One I have is, if you could pick one song, and this can be your song, one of your songs,
Okay.
or maybe even any song, it doesn't matter, anybody. I know we talked about Marvin Gaye, it could be any artist, that you think this really just nails your life or really describes you and who you are. What song would that be, and why?
Oh boy, you know what? Let's stick right now, because this probably could change based upon how I'm feeling any given day. But it's hard not to find a Stevie Wonder song. I'm a Stevie Wonder, like, if I would say fanatic if it didn't sound like I was crazy. But to the biggest fan prior to getting to fanaticism, I just love Stevie. I love his art and what he's been able to create, his artistry, his singing, his writing, just what his career has looked like, and the scope of his music, everything from love to God to politics, activism. He's just an amazing artist, and I got to, see him live on, for his Songs in the Key of Life tour, and it's just been such an amazing. He's had an amazing career, and I don't know if there's a Stevie song that I don't know. I really don't know,
Wow.
and he has a large catalog.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
But it's so funny when I talk to other Stevie Wonder lovers, they say, their favorite Stevie Wonder song changes, and it's true. It's very hard to stick with one Stevie Wonder song as your favorite. But with that being said, you asked about a song, and I can always apply some type of Stevie Wonder song to my life. And in the theme of the album Stargazer, I think The Secret Life of Plants.
Okay.
There's the song. He says, I can't conceive, the nucleus of all begins inside a tiny seed. And he just talks about the beauty and all the mystery in plants, and how sometimes we don't just sit and admire the beauty. And then sometimes we just use them for their beauty and don't admire just the creation. And I think, as far as my life, how that even applies right now is just the growth and from a seed, and from watering and some sunshine and probably some rain, and all of those things come together to help you blossom. And I feel as though at this point in my life, just celebrating another birthday and this new album just coming out, and I feel that I'm blossoming right now, after after the seeds have been planted and a whole lot of sunshine, but a whole lot of rain. and I believe that there's beauty in me and in my music, and I'm hoping that translates.
Wow, that's amazing. Great pick. I love Stevie Wonder too, and I can't. It's so true that I don't think I really have a favorite song of his. I like Brown Eyes a lot.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's one of my favorites. It's
Yes.
not one of the big singles or anything, but that's one of my favorites by him. I like that one a lot.
Oh, nice.
Hey, that's pretty cool. And if you could just tell your fans, tell us all where we can get your music and where we can follow you on social media, any other tour dates or special appearances that you want to mention.
Absolutely. Well, of course, you can go to my website. I am CarmenRodgers.com, and that's Rodgers. Try to remind everybody about that D, because a lot of times they're like, I can't find you. And you realize you left the D out. So I am CarmenRodgers.com. And on that site, you can actually buy my music as well. There's links to buy the music digitally, but there's also a store where you can buy my previous work and current Stargazer. You can buy a hard copy. Also, for anybody that wants to buy a hard CD, you can order online at moodmusic.com, cdbaby.com. Of course, you have all the digital outlets: Amazon, Google Play, iTunes. And to follow me, all these links are on my website as well, but you can follow me on Twitter, hashtag, or not hashtag, but / Carmen Rodgers, Rodgers. On Facebook, Carmen Rodgers Fans. I know people want to be my Facebook friend too, but my Facebook page is full. So please go to my fan page and like my page. I post, I check messages, all of those things. You can still, somehow stay connected to me.
Right.
People they get in their feelings when they can't be my Facebook friend. I'm like, look, it's full.
Back down, right?
And then, of course, Instagram is so popular, and I love Instagram. So my IG is Carmencito 3000. That's CarmenCito 3000, and that's my favorite. I love posting pictures and kind of giving people a visual of what's going on in my life. And coming up, I'm so excited. I have a little bit of a break to record, but next week on a Midwest run with Zoe. And I'll be doing songs from my previous albums as well as from Stargazer. And so you'll get to see me in Milwaukee on the 8th, Chicago on the 9th, or Detroit on the 11th. So hopefully, you can see me at that time. All of my tour dates are on my website as well. And there's much more to come, including a really cool West Coast run that's coming up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then a big festival, and I'm encouraging everyone to do this because I can't believe how cheap the tickets are. I'll be with the Foreign Exchange on May 23rd, 24th at the Atlanta Soul Music Festival. The tickets are unbelievably cheap, and for that weekend, for $40, you can see Foreign Exchange, Eric Roberson, Algebra Blessed, Anthony David, Chrisette Michelle, Life Jennings, Avery Sunshine. I can't even remember the whole list. For $40 for an entire week.
That's amazing.
And free parking. So people are coming from all over the country to this festival. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's on May 23rd, 24th.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to try to make it out to this then.
I think you should. It's Memorial Weekend, and Atlanta's a lot of fun on the holidays.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and taking a break from recording to do this interview with me, and I'll be posting it this coming Monday, as well as the full interview. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time and interest in me, Carlos.
Oh,
and hopefully I'll let you know about the Dallas date that's coming up this summer, and once we get everything locked in, and so hopefully I get to see you then.
Okay, that'll be great, and thank you so much again. You have a really great spirit, and just wish you all of the success in the world.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. All right, have a good one.
Okay, bye.